So we talked about this last year about commitment, which is really passion and action produces results or creates movement in your life. Things start to happen. So I think the obvious thing when we think about passion is, I use these words: it's intense, it's excitable, it's fervent, it's inspiring, eloquent, spirited, affecting, expressive, strong, moving. And what's the one word that is sort of an amalgam of all that? Sex! Oh my God, what? Yes, sex. This idea of the life force within you, that is a sexual, passionate, creative force, which is a force that you're tapping into when you're creating. And then I thought, you know, if you think about it, when you're wanting to be sexual or intimate or expressive in that way, you can't be thinking about major issues in your life and then, well, I guess you can, but it's not the ultimate sexual expression. Think about it. When you're stuck in your left brain, the sexual experience maybe doesn't happen at all, right? So I'm using that as an analogy of, like in life, when you have inspired ideas, the more you think about it, you cut off the expression of that sexual life force through you. So again, I'm just borrowing back to the last few months, which is, how do you stop letting the forward-moving momentum of what's going on in your life wanting to be expressed? You do that by critically thinking about it. I think the interesting thing about passion is, if we can get out of our own way, you'll see the end results of that in your life more and more often. You know, sometimes people think, oh, well, you know, it's scary to be this passionate. What are other people going to think? People are going to make fun of me. People are going to be threatened by it. People are going to think I'm crazy. People are going to... But you know what? The truth is it doesn't work that way. Who's really scared about your passion? You! You're scared of this potential that you wield. Because everybody is just but a projection or a reflection of your own stuff anyway. That's all it is. So you have this tendency to self-judge it before it's even been created. You blame it on them. You say it's about this out here, but it's not. It's your own editorial system. Meaning judgment, criticism, left brain, compartmental, comparison. I say this quote all the time because I love it. Johann Schiller, in the 1700s, he's a poet, a philosopher. He talked about how you let the critical factor comes in before you have expressed the lyrical factor. Meaning, before it has even gotten out of the gate, any form of pure creative Freudian slip, pure creative expression has been put out into the world, you've already criticized it. You've already damaged it. You've already eroded it because of the left brain. I understand at one level, we get scared of it because we think, how am I going to be able to contain all of this? If I have this stuff going on, what am I going to do with it? Okay, people, your job is not to contain what is. It's not. You're dealing with something inexhaustible. You are infinite. Your job is not to put a cork in it. Ultimately, that can't really happen anyway because it finds different ways of being expressed. But could you think of like how optimally you would be creating if you just got out of the way? You are limitless. And your passion can keep expanding exponentially. And you're always going to be a receptor for it. It just drives me nuts when people are like, oh yeah, you know, I met somebody, but I'm going to take it slow, and I don't want to do that yet, and I don't want to do... Okay, I'm not saying I want you to like toss all your marbles and share every like sordid secret detail about your life. I just meet Rachel and we go out on our first date and I'm like, will you marry me? No, I'm not asking that. I'm not saying that. But what I think is interesting, I wrote down, fools! The interesting thing is we get so crazy about... We don't think that there is enough to share, that it's going to run out, that if I start sharing something with somebody, I'm not going to have something with her 6 months from now. You're putting a limit on something that is inexhaustible. Do you get what I'm saying? So if it can start this high, it can continue to get better, except for your own judgment that it's not a limitless supply. That is crazy talk. And that's what keeps you stuck, and unhappy, and unfulfilled, and unexpressed, and not creative, and not feeling love. You know, I think the interesting thing about that is that, as I just said, it's inexhaustible. But second, if you do think you're going to run out of it, then you're going to run out of it whether you give a little or a lot. So if you're thinking scarcity thinking, it doesn't really matter how you're going to dole it out. But what's interesting is what happens with life is you may come to this juncture in your life, or something cataclysmic may happen, and you're at the end of your journey and you're like, holy crap, I have this opportunity to share with this person and I never did. I have all this stuff left in my back pocket. What good is it going to do you taking it to outer space? You see what I'm saying? What are you limiting it for? Saving it for a rainy day? I don't get it. So, it's exciting thinking about passion. Passion gets me so excited. Oh, no, I'm going to parcel it out. Oh, stop trying to hoard it and save it. It's so boring. It's so boring. Well, I'm saving it for the right one. You know what? Izzy is the right one. Sam is the right one. Barbara is the right one. Rachel is the right one. Jeff. Every person you meet can be the right one. Meaning, I'm not talking about love, like Eros love. I'm talking about the ability to share and make a difference in somebody's life. Stop compartmentalizing it. That kind of passion is just for me and my lover. That kind of passion is for me and my teacher. That kind of passion is just for me and my art. No! It's your creative life force being expressed always.